This is a Google Earth view of the Old Topanga neighborhood between Mulholland Highway and the county line on Old Topanga Canyon Road. The more dense community visible to the west is the Calabasas Highlands. Our small mountain community of about 36 homes in Old Topanga is being targeted by the City of Calabasas for a sewer expansion, which, if installed, would induce growth which is similar to what has occurred in the Highlands. If approved, sewers would change forever the unique character of this community, which the Calabasas General Plan has pledged to protect. Quote, "It is the specific intent of the Calabasas General Plan that the unique character of existing rural communities, such as Montanito and Old Topanga, that are located within the Calabasas General Plan study area, be preserved. It is the city's vision that any new development occurring within these rural and open areas fit in with, rather than replace, the area's existing natural environment." At the City Council meeting of April 16, 2008, there was discussion regarding sewer service expansion into our rural community. There were a number of facts cited by the council members and city staff justifying the expansion. Upon further review, we found numerous incorrect assumptions which this presentation will correct. Our source of information is the California Regional Water Quality Control Board and local area subject matter experts. What follows are excerpts from the April 16th meeting with corrections in text and voiceover.
We've been issued an NOV, and for the people that are listening, that's a very serious consequence to the city. We're into it for over $100,000 already. By the time we're done, it could be $1 million of taxpayer money because we are violating, or accused of violating, the TMDL, which is zero, no tolerance for bacteria, for a loan.
A notice of violation, or NOV, was filed by the Regional Water Quality Control Board, but is only for discharge from the Malibu Creek watershed. There is no connection between the Old Topanga Creek, which flows into the LA River watershed, and the water quality requirements and timelines for each watershed are different. Therefore, the NOV does not even apply to our community.
If the water board says you can settle this violation if you take these steps, how does that work with the EIR process?
The EIR process is simply an information process. It affects your decision-making only in that you have to impose feasible mitigation measures that are identified that will mitigate significant environmental impacts. Beyond that, a CEQA document informs your decision-making but doesn't constrain it. So if the environmental impact report identifies beneficial and assertedly negative environmental impacts and ways to mitigate them, ultimately you're left striking the balance among competing policies if there is in fact policy competition.
If they do a consent decree with us and they say Calabasas for these mitigations, one of which is the sewers,
just have an overarching consideration.
The CEQA only applies.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, CEQA only applies to discretionary action.
That would not be a discretionary
If
action.
we're ordered to do something by an agency with the power to do it, we don't do an EIR.
Well, everybody should be aware of that.
Right.
To correct Mr. Groveman, the state has not ordered the City of Calabasas to address the NOV with expansion of sewers. It is only the mitigations in Malibu Creek watershed that can be applied to the notice of violation. The Regional Water Quality Control Board does not connect or trade watersheds, hence there is no mitigation value of the NOV for extending sewers into Old Topanga, which again drains into the LA River watershed.
I don't have enough information about what the problem, if there is a problem in this creek, because we have this study that the MRT does showing that the bacterial level is lower there than it is in the Wamulwood area.
Here is the Mountains Restoration Trust, or MRT, study. In May and July 2006, samples were taken by Jamie Reinhardt for the City of Calabasas. 2 sites on Dry Canyon Creek, one upstream of Viewpoint School, which is the blue line, and the second just north of the intersection of Mulholland Drive and Valmar, the red line. The dramatically higher level of contamination is downstream of sewered developments, perhaps a result of leaking sewer laterals, a common problem in tracts older than 1990. This final graph shows data from October and December 2007. The two collection sites are from Dry Canyon Creek behind the historic Masson House in red, and South Fork across from Calabasas High School in blue, coming from Mallwood, a pre-1990 sewered tract. As you can see, the levels in blue are 17 times greater. In summary, the scientific evidence proves that the on-site wastewater disposal systems from the 34 homes in Old Topanga are not the source of high levels of fecal coliform contamination.
Council has from the general fund, not from anybody's pocket, $500,000 that were approved to do this project. The intention was that, and we understand that these lots won't be built, but you take the total number of lots that the area is zoned for, and let's say it's 100 lots. It's a little bit more. And then you divide 100 into the 500,000, and it comes up to be about a $5,000 assessment for someone to hook up. Now, the intention was not to mandate anybody to hook up, but if they wish to hook up, that's what the hookup fee would be. If a septic fails, that's what the hookup fee would be. And as long as the septics are working fine for anybody, they can keep them.
When sewers were installed in the Calabasas Highlands 20 years ago, the hookup cost per homeowner was in the area of $10,000. This went up when the contractor underbid the project and costs rose to as high as $30,000. In today's dollars, that could easily be twice as expensive. This does not include an additional $7,000 capacity fee, which would be charged each homeowner by the Las Virgenes Municipal Water District. The city manager's formula of dividing what he believes the cost might be by the total number of lots seems an arbitrary formula for determining cost to individual homeowners, many of whom are on fixed incomes.
Are we, in fact, the only city on the LA River that is with septic tanks at this point?
No.
Maureen, I was asking, do you know whether it's true in this area?
I received an email through Alex Verisati. I believe that's the case, but if
I would like to know that for sure when we get the final.
maybe that was the email that I received.
The Director of Community Development is incorrect. Within the Los Angeles and San Gabriel watershed, which are one and the same, there are likely thousands of on-site wastewater disposal systems. The facts are, when properly maintained, these on-site systems have and can work effectively for many decades. The Old Topanga neighborhood believes that a program of monitoring, similar to the City of Malibu, would be preferable to the expense and growth-inducing effect on the community.
This is the first time I've been up here where we're voting for some kind of public works improvement, but no one from the community's asked for it, and no one's.
The state has asked for it.
I've got no communication from anybody in support of this.
Well, but that's because this is not only good environmental policy; it doesn't need anybody to ask for it. But we have an NOV that is suggesting it strongly.
Mr. Bazagian is correct. The community has not asked for sewers and strongly opposes them. Mr. Groveman, however, is mistaken. It cannot be stated strongly enough that the notice of violation pertains only to the Malibu Creek watershed. Old Topanga is in no way connected to this watershed or the NOV. No sewers in Old Topanga.